And next up, we've got a skill builder workshop focusing on design thinking. So for that, we welcome Ellie Savatia.
Elise Vatia is a 21-year-old inventor, technology optimist, and budding social entrepreneur. Since childhood, he has proposed, to pursue technology-driven change-making and innovations. And in 2020, Ellie was named a global team leader, one of the top 30 teams in the world by WAFF, who have found solutions to address basic human needs positively affecting millions of lives with their work. And he is also the founder of VisaVis, a technology company focusing on increasing accessibility for the deaf. So please help me in giving a warm welcome to Elise Savatia. Please come onto the stage.
Thank you so much, Jyoti and Riva. First of all, many thanks for the introduction and also the opportunity to interact with the young change makers in innovation STEM as part of the Youth STEM Summit. So just before I get into my presentation, okay, I've seen the share screen option. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity and excited for the next 15 to 20 minutes, I think. I just go straight away and share my screen on the presentation. Perfect. My name is Ellie. I am co-founder CEO of VisaVi. We're based in Kenya and we are a startup leveraging AI to bridge the communication barrier between the hearing and the deaf community. So we've built a software that facilitates communication in real time. And this is actually, I think it's timely because in the technology that we build, we apply the principles of a human-centered design thinking, which I'm just going to take you through shortly. Let me do that. Let me share my screen. Okay. I have 20 minutes for my timer. All right. Perfect. I believe my screen is visible. Maybe you can just give me like a thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, so to start us off, I'll just play a short video. It's like 5 minutes long. Then I'll take you through the presentation itself.
In a world connected by smartphones, GPS, and social media, we have come to expect businesses, hospitals, and governments to deliver personalized experiences to us on any device in real time. And while we still go to the store to buy groceries or get on a plane to travel from point A to point B, the way we consume goods and services is fundamentally changing, which also means the way companies design and build these experiences must evolve to keep pace. Two approaches to help are design thinking and agile development. But the principles they are based on can be a great asset to anyone trying to solve a problem or find better ways of getting work done. Design thinking is a method for practical and creative problem solving that evolved from fields as varied as engineering, architecture, and business. At its core, design thinking focuses on understanding people's needs and creatively discovering the best solution to meet those needs. Its core concepts are understand, explore, prototype, and evaluate. Agile is a group of software development methods that emerge to quickly, iteratively, and collaboratively build better business solutions. Its core concepts are iterative development, risk management, and transparency. Based on work with thousands of our clients, IBM is expanding upon traditional design thinking. We call this IBM design thinking, and it aims particularly at meeting the complex needs of large-scale enterprises without sacrificing the personal focus of design thinking. To get a better idea of how these new ways of working, IBM Design Thinking and Agile, come to life, let's take a look at how a company benefits from using these approaches in expanding their business. Green Jeans Nursery is a successful garden design and supply store based out of the state of Vermont in the United States. They've had such explosive growth over the past 2 years that they've been able to open 3 additional stores. They launched their web experience about a year ago, but while their in-store sales continue to grow, their website sales haven't met expectations. Gene, the founder and owner, uses IBM design thinking and knows that he needs to start with the end user. What exactly are the reasons their needs are not being met? First, he needs to find out who his real users are. what they think, how they feel, what they see, hear, say, and do. Not satisfied with merely coming up with potential issues internally, the business, design, and engineering team members collaborate and decide to find people that have a shared interest in gardening and are familiar with the products. After their initial search, the team narrows their focus to a candidate that meets a wide variety of helpful criteria, Jane. Jane agrees to an ongoing relationship to provide priceless insights as the business grows. As the team begins to work with Jane, they gain insights they otherwise would have missed. This research is crucial in making improvements for their users. For example, they find that Jane, despite being interested in new plants, doesn't know where to begin. She likes the way many plants look online, but she doesn't know how to grow and take care for them. At the store, a customer can always ask an expert, but visitors to the website like Jane have no simple way to get help. Armed with this new information, the team regroups with the larger team to plan next steps for refining the challenge or hill statement. They agree the site fails to deliver personalized how-to guidance at any point in the online experience. To articulate a clear outcome statement, the team generates as many ideas as they can. Help chat, a planting guide tool, the ability to submit photos and questions. Gradually, they weed out unrealistic and expected ideas that lack a wow factor. Then, and only then, they start to determine how they will build a solution with new features like responsive recommendations to expert videos, based on what content a user is viewing. They begin with sketches, then move to more formal designs to better hone in on the real value their users need. The team leader engages a larger cross-functional team that can deliver a working model of the idea. The working model will be reviewed with the larger team and tested with end users. As the team is developing the prototype, they refine the idea further to offer Jane the ability to archive favorite video materials. They take the working prototype back to the larger team and to the end user to test its effectiveness and get feedback. The team will iteratively refine the product at each step of the way to make it suited to the user and more seamlessly integrated with the existing website. Finally, the team deploys the new interactive gardening guidance tool, which is closely monitored to ensure it can undergo continuous upgrades based on insights from usage metrics and new customer needs. By using IBM Design Thinking and Agile,
I just stop sharing from there. And I think from the video, I think we might have gained one or two things, basically what the concept of design thinking is. And if you have any key takeaways from that video, just feel free to drop them in the comment section. And I'll go straight to taking you through the design thinking process. So what is design thinking? Design thinking, it is a framework that was developed. And from my perspective, I look at it more of approaching problem solving from the end user's point of view. So you don't just build a solution and take it to a user. Rather, you work with them through the steps, right from the ideation, basically right at the heart of product development or right at the heart of innovation. You keep them involved, you generate insights from them. They give you, their pain points. What exact problems are they facing? So that you don't end up creating cool technology or cool innovation, but solving problems that fit to specific end user needs. So that's basically more of an overview of what design thinking is. And it has pretty much like 5 steps. So this is more of like a process, and it's a methodology that provides a solution-based approach to solving problems. And it's used in identifying problems and creating impactful solutions. Personally, in my startup, we incorporate human-centered design thinking, and we're building solutions for the deaf community. So you realize primarily I am not deaf, but I have to go to that deaf individual to get information from them that can actually inform the innovation process. Now, more into this, it involves creating ideas and solutions through brainstorming or prototyping. Solutions based on the understanding human needs. That's the most critical. One of the most critical aspects of this is that you are keeping the end user in mind and you build it with them, not for them. So we solve problems. We can solve problems in companies. We can solve problems in our country, global problems, even in your classroom. In university, probably an innovation using this framework called the design thinking framework. And it is actually really interesting because it's engaging. You can make it fun because you ideate, you look at, different aspects on how to approach problem solving. So let's define two important words that we've come across, that you will come across in this process. One is brainstorming. So brainstorming, basically, it's more of a group activity where you bring efforts from different individuals to, find a solution for a problem by gathering a list of ideas contributed by the members of that group. Let's say that. So coming to prototyping, prototyping is more of an early sample, more of the initial stages of a working solution. It might not work, but this is supposed to depict the end product or the end innovation. So when we talk prototyping, when it comes to innovation, prototyping is one of the most critical steps, because you have to build something that can depict, the actual innovation, and it allows you to iterate, make mistakes, which is actually, what I love about innovation is that you make mistakes and learn from mistakes, and you should actually enjoy the process. So brings us back to the 5 steps of design thinking. 1, empathy. We have defining, ideating, prototyping, and then later testing. So we'll just go straight into these 5 stages. Basically, this is more of like a tool on how to approach design thinking. First, you define. So when you define the problem, empathy. We start with empathy. So empathy, in simple words, this is more of putting yourself in the shoe of whoever is facing this problem. And you actually get to see the exact problem, the exact pain points that they are facing. This can be, let's say you want to design an innovation to tackle climate action. So you go and look at people being affected by the impacts of climate action and interview them. So you put yourself in that shoe and get to actually feel and get that deeper personal understanding of the problem that you're trying to solve. After empathizing with this, you now come to, define the problem. So you put together this information that you've gathered through the empathizing stage. You analyze it and define the root cause of the problem. You can grow like a tree. Root cause, major problems, minor problems. You define this statement to the specific. So it is, you can start the problem statement, then break down the problems. Is it a root cause? Is it a main cause? After defining, now we've taken through empathy, defining. Step 3 is now ideating, which is the most, I think, interesting part, where you get to, generate as many ideas as you can. When you ideate, you can brainstorm with your peers, you can bring together different stakeholders. So you've now understood your end user needs from the empathy and defining stage, and you've analyzed it. But now you have to ideate solutions that specifically solve the problems that they are facing, which is actually the most interesting part, because you can get to, just ideate as many problems, as many solutions as you can that tackle the problem that you have identified. And then you think outside the box, think unconventional. Embrace creativity, embrace even the crazy ideas, and look at alternative ways of viewing this problem, even in different perspectives. So after you ideate, you can now come into prototyping, which is fun. So prototyping, it's like producing a number of versions of the end product or the end innovation, and it's more of an experimental phase. And the aim here is to identify the best possible solution identified during the first 3 stages. So while you prototype, you can use literally anything in your surrounding. It can be a sketch, it can be a design on Figma, it can be the goal of this is basically to build something that can at least show me some growth or process. So you can design based on the end user. You keep them in mind. So you prototype as many versions as possible, and as you prototype, actually you realize you keep on increasing you keep on increasing the scope, you keep on improving it even as you continue prototyping. So it's more of building, it's more of like a build process. So bringing us back to the last stage, which is testing. So testing is actually really important. So we have empathized with our end users. We have defined the problem. We have ideated many solutions. We've also prototyped and built prototypes, which is more of not really the end product, but we have, something which can at least solve a problem. So we have to go back to the end user again and test it with them. So what you're going to actually check is this innovation solving the end user's problem? And this is going to tell us if really we are working on a viable product. And to sum it all away, when it comes to testing, this is more of like the final stages of the design thinking process. And you test it, you bring it to the end users, you give them, the space to be completely honest with you about the value that this prototype is giving to them. And this is an iterative process, right from the design thinking, right from empathizing, defining, ideating, prototyping. Because at first you should map who is really going to benefit from your innovation, who is really going to benefit from your product that you're building. And the results, the testing is actually supposed to assist you to gather results and generate feedback from this testing phase and use that to iterate. When we talk of iteration, we mean more of repeated processes that actually get to, assist you to arrive to the final product that you are building or the final innovation that you are building. Yeah. So to sum it all away, we've just gone through the design thinking process and taken you through the different steps that it takes to, approach problem solving and innovation building in a user-centered approach. You keep them in mind as you make each and every step as you develop your product or innovation. So those are some of the tools, and I'd like to engage the audience to think of a real world problem. Perhaps you can just drop them in the chat and we explore our creativity and see if we can come up with something in the next 1-2 minutes. I'll also invite Jyoti and River in the same conversation as well. Don't know how much time I have. Maybe just confirm that.
We're just a bit over time, but it's okay. We can cut time with the break.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good. It's fine.
Basically, I'm actually pretty much gone through the design thinking process. If we don't have time maybe to engage them on a real world problem, we could move on to the Q&A.
Yeah, sure. So we've had one question come in. So which step in the design thinking process would you say is the most challenging, and what advice do you have for getting through it?
That's a nice question. So in terms of the most challenging, so I think first of all, I'd just like to highlight that all of them are important. The most challenging, I think it depends. It depends sometimes. It depends on the problem that you're solving. Sometimes prototyping can be, I usually take the approach of like make it fun as you prototype, make it fun as you ideate. Though each and every step of the design thinking process has its own weight, I could say basically it depends on the person applying this process. But personally, I find it fun. Prototyping, testing, also depending on the complexity of the solution that you're building. Prototyping can be a bit of a challenge, but the fun of it all is that you get to have fun as you prototype with your end users. Yeah. So turning it from an idea to a product and innovation, it's usually a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Any more questions? I don't think we have more questions, but I just want to say before you go, being someone who wants to pursue a career in UI and UX, your talk was really helpful for me because design thinking is a big part of that career stream. So really thank you for speaking to us today.
Yeah, so another wonderful talk. Just once again, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story and your insights on design thinking. I think it really helped everyone here. And just as a note, we're going to be talking more on identifying problems and brainstorming later in the session. But for now, just a really big thanks to Ellie for coming and presenting. Just thank you so much.
Thank you too for welcoming me, and I'm grateful, and all the best for the participants.
Yes, thank you.